I don't normally do loot videos or unboxing videos or haul videos or whatever you want to call them, but from now on I'm going to start. Simply because when I go to an anime shop, a comic shop, or I go to a music store or buy things online, I don't fuck around. I tend to buy a lot of shit. And it's one of the benefits of having a high-paying job outside of YouTube is that you have kind of a flexible income from time to time. And today was no exception. I mean, holy God. And that, oh my God, I'm very happy to have. I mean, So anyway, without further ado, let's jump head on first to this. The first awesome thing I picked up today was this Joker and Harley Quinn shirt. It's actually a particular image on the shirt that I've wanted to have the painting of for like ever. Absolutely ever. I fucking love that picture. I wish that I could have like a poster or a painting of it in my house. And I grabbed the Nerve from Evangelion little binder here simply because I wanted it. As well as new skeleton gloves because they look cool. Also, I use them when I DJ. And this little skull bandana sort of deal going on here, like a biker bandana or something, like a face bandana. Which I also am going to wear when I DJ now. Be like a whole Skeletor thing going on or whatever. You guys probably saw that a couple of days ago on my Instagram. But let's jump into like the real meat of this here. And sorry for being so kind of like shaky and a little like uneasy about this. I've never really done a video like this before. I don't really know how to go about these sort of things, but I'm sure that with time that'll improve. The next video after this that I'm going to do that's a loot video or whatever is actually going to be from the guy who makes these custom shirts and stuff here, my buddy Jerix. He's a very, very cool and badass individual, and he makes really cool and badass t-shirts and stuff, and you should check the link in the bottom bar for a link to his eBay store so you too can pick up some awesome stuff like this. And after I do the video in a couple of days when I get his package in that I ordered, you're going to want to even more. So let's jump anyway into the meat of this whole thing. Start off with the Wolverine and Punisher. First thing you ought to know about my comic taste is that I have an absolute fucking affinity with the Punisher. I think he's a badass character. And one of the reasons being is that unlike Batman or any of these people with a moral complex where they don't kill anybody, he doesn't have that. Whereas Batman's too big of a friggin' pussy to go take out the Joker and subsequently causes more people to die from that inability at the Joker's behest and his own insanity, this guy would just walk up, shoot the fucker in the head, and no more problems for Gotham. That's one of the things I love about the Joker, not the Joker, about the Punisher. It's actually one of the things I love about the Joker, too. It's funny to me that I don't recall ever seeing the Joker or the Punisher appear in a comic together, like versus one another. That'd be an interesting matchup, actually. But this Wolverine and the Punisher series was very, very cool. And I got them all bundled, actually. If you want to buy comics smart and you want to save yourself a lot of money, bundle them. You can go to any comic book store. I'm more than sure just hundreds of them do this, where they'll complete a whole series and you can get it for like one flat price. You don't have to sit there and pay like $3.99 for each one. I got all these for like a flat $10, which was actually quite alright. Now, let's see. Got Godzilla, which is pretty cool. This one's actually starting to really, really get pretty interesting. I quite like it. You have actually one of the guys, I believe that's one of the same guys from Final Wars right there, blasting a Destroyer in the face. If I can get the light right. There we go. Here we go. Now these, I believe, are my prized possessions out of this whole loot. Besides that, but I'll get into this in a minute. These are 3D villain covers, and they are fucking selling like hotcakes right now. Holy crap. Oh my God. One of the reasons being is that they have a holographic 3D cover, and that's not the only reason. It's because these came out way too friggin' early. It was supposed to be the flat 2D cover, and then these were supposed to come out, but somebody fucked up the order and had it the other way around. So these are actually a rarity of themselves, honestly. So far I've got Decade right here. I've got Poison Ivy. I've got Two-Face right here. And my favorite next to the Harley Quinn one, which sadly somebody piked the last one before I got it, the Joker. Yeah, they're like 3D hologram sort of covers and stuff. They have like the 2D versions of them out, simply so they're like, oh yeah, no, we're gonna all do it at the same time. Totally fucking ignore that rumor online. You know, no, that's legitimately why it happened. That's why those are so valuable right now. I mean, they're already going up to like $10 a piece, you know, from the cover price. Let's see, I got a couple of X-Files ones right here. I don't know if these are really worth much. I'm sure that eventually they might accrue some value. I really like the X-Files growing up, and anything to do with X-Files I love. I really thought the Mulder and Scully sketch on the cover is quite good. Now, the interior art of the comic is pretty average. It's got a good enough storyline to forsake that, though. You can overlook it, really. This cover, however, is, out of the two that I have, my absolute favorite. If you were a fan of the show, then you know, spoiler alert ahead, if you want, you know, to know, that the lone gunman here actually died near like one of the last few seasons. And it was a really fucked up moment because these were like the three most lovable nerds ever on television next to Mike Nelson and his bots. So seeing him reminiscing of their, you know, and having like, you know, like a moment of remembrance at their grave and such, the whole image, I was taken aback. I was like, this is a badass cover. And it's actually a variant. In the inner comic itself, they show how many different variants that there are. If I can slip it out of the slipcase here. Which, it's always good to have your backer board and your plastic. It shows you how many different variants there are and such. I'm going to see if there's different shops around town where I can pick those up. One of the reasons it's good to have each different variant is that each variants, they all sort of range in individual rarity. You know, there could be like a shit ton of that particular cover, the black and white one that was on there, or maybe a really, really super rare, maybe there's only like 500 floating around, colored version of it, you know. Variant covers like that, they're good to have, because you never know how much they're going to be worth. I got Kick-Ass right here, which is pretty cool. I haven't taken a look at it yet. More stuff with the Punisher. I actually grabbed this from a pull box that was at the store that I was at earlier today with this one, and this one as well, and this one as well. This one looks really cool, though. This looks really, really retro. And not only that, it looks pretty well taken care of. I mean, there's some spine cracks on it right there, which might take down the value. But I like this one particularly because it shows Frank Castle back when he was like a Special Forces guy. Because before he became the Punisher, he was actually a Special Forces soldier, if you know anything about his backstory. And then I've got this one, which a friend got me, which is apparently the Punisher in like the high-ass future and stuff. I haven't taken a peek at it yet, but the cover looks goofy enough for it to be quite interesting. This one, absolutely sick cover. Absolutely awesome addition to my Batman collection. It's such a morose and depressing cover, too, of the parents and the fact that it's not even colored, it's just pure sketch, and the black and white on it, it's just so it's so grim, it's so dark. It really captures the essence of what Batman has to deal with on a daily basis. You know, what life must actually be like for a guy like that. There's no color in it. That there's no, I wouldn't say hopeless, it's not total hopelessness, it's just total bleakness, and this cover, I should say, really captures that. Like I said, I'm sorry, I'm kind of nervous. I've never really done one of these particular videos before. You've got some Red Sonja, which is pure sexiness, let's just face it. And then Deadpool. Deadpool #1. Which is something I believe that everybody should fucking have in their collection, no matter who you are. I'll have to go back and reorganize the shit out of those. Now, got a couple of more comics over here. Actually, let me go finish off the comic books, and I'll get into the actual books. And I'll try to breeze through these. We got Tarot, which I absolutely love. I love this guy's design. I think that this guy's absolutely fucking sick. Skull face, the skull gloves, kind of like earlier. And he's just an absolute badass in this series. This is a very interesting series. We've got Forever Evil. We've got Spawn. New Spawn. We've got another Spawn with a variant cover, which is absolutely sick. Then we have Haunt and Spawn. Haunt is a very cool comic book. It's also done by McFarlane. And this guy, he's a friggin' psycho. He's kind of like Spawn, but instead of being like an undead guy from hell, Haunt can kind of just become necroflesh, sort of, kind of like a mystic demon sort of thing at will, sort of. He basically can just turn into a similar entity, not the same kind of, but a similar entity at will. And he will rip your shit up. OMG. See, we've got, wow, ironically, more Punisher. Another Deadpool. Let's see. And this one is very cool. We have Machete. Machete. I mean, I didn't even know there was a comic for this guy. It's very ludicrous on the inside. It's not a bad thing. It's just an absolutely nuts comic. I was thumbing through it in the shop earlier, and it was just crazy. And we also have The Crow, and I'm going to start this. This is apparently a new series of The Crow, so I'm going to quite enjoy starting this one as well. So let me get these out of the way. Now, on for like mangas and regular books and such that I picked up. Appleseed is a very kick-ass manga. It's also a movie, too, but I wasn't too huge of a fan of the movie. I just felt they didn't blend the CG and animation together right. It's very cool. It's very high future, very high-tech, cyberpunk. This guy's actually a former soldier who got like decimated in a mine hit, and now his like whole body has basically been replaced with machinery and stuff. It's very cool. Very, very, very cool. If you don't know it, you should definitely check it out. I've actually got to get the other 3. I actually picked up volume 4, not even paying attention to the cover. And here is today's prize of the day. Everyone knows that I am a ginormous Evangelion fan. I, for whatever reason, absolutely love the fuck out of this show. And finding an omnibus like this, absolutely epic. I just saw it sitting there. It was absolutely friggin' epic. And it's actually, for whatever reason, kind of hard to find shit for this anime in stores, at least here. There was a shop, a buddy of mine showed me a picture of Unit 2 from this for like $350. It was just a model of it, and I'm like, are you goddamn kidding? Kind of a ripoff, because I've seen the exact same model for much cheaper on Amazon and eBay. But this is absolutely incredible. You've got great art inside. Absolutely great. For those of you on my Facebook, I hope this picture looks a little familiar because it's my cover photo right now. Very cool. I'm going to cherish the hell out of this. And then we have Death Clock, which is quite cool. The art style on the inside I think is pretty good. It's a little cartoony from the show. The show is a little bit more rough around the edges and stuff. Whereas they have clean face, murder face, and such. But it's a pretty good book. It's quite a interesting read for sitting on the toilet reading. Now, let's turn to this bag right here. I don't have a lot of space left on my memory card. I got to buy an SD card, so let me go breeze through this. We picked up a Knuckles, simply because I have an affinity for Sonic, because it's like my favorite game from my youth. I'm pretty sure most people have seen my mini shadows over there. Got a little Yoshi guy here because, I mean, who doesn't love Yoshis? I mean, come on, look at that. They're fucking adorable. I need to take him out of the plastic before he suffocates if he hasn't already. These are from an actual manga shop that was in town. And to prove my fake otaku-ness, I've overloaded myself with Pocky and Haichu. But don't get me wrong, these are absolutely delicious.